Alaman.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever or whenever you may be. This is the Overnight. I'm DM Foss. So far tonight, we've got Gizzard Gary. How's it going, Gizzard?
It's going good. Thanks for having me.
And American Hillbilly Up. How you doing?
Hey, buddy. Thanks for having me tonight. Looks like a great side chat out there already.
It is. So Hillbilly, officially, what is your channel name? Is it American Hillbilly Up? Hillbilly Up? How do I address you properly?
So my channel name is Hillbilly Up.
Okay.
My B channel is American Hillbilly, which I don't really put nothing on there, but kind of American Hillbilly is my brand. But Hillbilly Up is the gun channel.
Okay. Just so when I say it, people know, if they want to go find you, how to find you. And let me.
I need to make a Gizzard Gary Up channel.
Well, you've got Gizzard Gary reviews.
I do have Gizzard Gary reviews. Yes.
Where you review things?
For stuff that's totally non-related to guns or gear or knives or anything. Like if I review a vacuum cleaner, it's probably going to be on the Gizzard Gary Reviews channel.
I don't know, if you want, you can drop a link for that out there.
Okay.
And let me get a banner going. See if that's
Yeah, Hillbilly Up was kind of supposed to be kind of like Cowboy Up.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody got that. So now I'm just Mr. Up.
At the bottom of the screen, there is a banner going with an email address, untopicalfoss@gmail.com. and a link for the Discord server, place to kind of hang out, chit chat. You can get a hold of me, share pictures, memes, and probably get a hold of most people that come on the chat if you want to. And the email address you can send in pictures, ideas, comments, suggestions, all that kind of fun stuff. And if you watch this in replay, leave a comment. Anything we talk about, agree with, disagree with, think we left out, let me know. I read all the comments and they are always appreciated. So let's take a quick look, see who's out there so far tonight. Oh, let me scroll back up. Ozzy Orsborn is out there. Gizzard Gary. Hillbilly Up. Mr. Bob Dabalina. Vulcan Rumble. And the Saint. And Garage Guy. Midget with Carrot Cake. It's been a while. Nice to see you. Oh, well, have a good night. I got my little thing that covers a little bit of my screen. A little holder for the pop shield.
The puff filter.
Yeah. Oh, G23's out there. So good evening to everybody. I don't really have a topic. I've been really busy past couple weeks, so I haven't had time to think about anything. Tried to come up with a topic, but didn't quite get there. Oh, there's the happenings today with Trump. Somebody took pot shots at him. So I'm still kind of waiting to hear more information before. It sounds like it's been confirmed. The guy was on a rooftop. There's a name that one of the news organizations has put out, but
I don't think that's been officially released, but yeah.
So just kind of waiting to.
From what I saw on one story, the actual building he was shooting from was off way to the side of the stage and out past the fences and everything. And because it was at a farm, some sort of farm celebration or something. So it was in a rural area, but there's a tall building off to the side, like 164 yards. So it's at quite an angle, and it's a good thing Trump turned his head when he did, probably.
Yeah.
And some of the spectators, at least one got shot also.
Yeah. I was watching just before the chat, looking for any updates and whatnot, and watching the footage of when it happened, and pretty much as soon as Trump goes down, I think some of the shots you hear after that are the guy being shot, because it's pretty quickly that you can hear the Secret Service say that the shooter's down.
Yeah, really quick.
So kind of interesting. And Richard Simmons also passed away.
I hadn't heard that.
I hadn't either.
And so did Dr. Ruth.
Wow. They both went together, huh? I'll be darned. Same day.
Ozzy's saying 1 spectator dead and 2 in critical condition. Mr. Bob said there might be 3. Oh, so that might be the. So yeah, I wasn't. don't want to go too much into it. There's been a lot of people already kind of covering it, and
Well, there was it clearly showed in one clip. The one we probably all seen this part of the police or whatever, picking up somebody and carrying them down the bleachers. But just before that, there was a somebody else there doing chest compressions. I don't know if you'd seen that on that
no.
person.
Yeah, Mr. Bob's. I saw some of NEA's Never Enough Ammo's chat he did. That's what I went to bed and happened to wake up and looked at my phone, saw Never Enough Ammo was going live, and then saw the title of the chat. So I got up and kind of saw what was going on. Yeah, there's somebody posted in the Discord. Actually, I can. No, I can't do it. I was gonna say I can show the Discord the picture, but I don't. I can never remember my login information, so I'm not logged in on the laptop. But it was a picture which looks like, Trump is looking to the right, and then you can see a streak, which might be a bullet going past him. I don't know if it's the one that hit him or one of the other shots, but
did you post it on? Is it posted on your Discord?
it's on the Discord. Yeah, somebody.
What's it under?
I think it's in the news section. Let me see here.
Okay, yeah, I got it. I think I can share this for you.
You can't. Yeah, right in there, you can kind of see a streak.
Yeah, you can. Looks like it. Wow.
So don't know for sure. Could be a bug flying by, and it's just the way it looks on there.
Yeah. Could be a flying saucer in the background. But yeah, I've not seen that.
The bearded and tattooed guys out there, good evening. So yeah, like I said, I'm kind of waiting to see. Oh, Honcho Fett's out there. It's been a long time.
Wow, long time.
Yeah, nice to see you. Missed you at Thunder on the Prairie.
Yeah, sure did.
So yeah, like I said, I didn't want to cover it too much. For this chat, I don't really do news of the day that much. There's lots of other channels that cover that, and we'll cover it better. But the work got me traveling all over the USA and whatnot. Missed you guys too. That's what I figured. Busy worth the work and making the monies. So is there anything that you guys want to talk about? Any topics?
Nothing in particular for me.
We've got Guns and Barbecue and gun websites. Good evening, fellas.
Hey, fellers.
Evening. Hope I'm not too late.
No, we're just kind of getting started here. I had my
Awesome.
dryer died the other day. I put
Oh,
did a load
Buying
of
a new
laundry.
dryer, eh? Buying a new dryer.
Yeah, we're gonna end up buying a new dryer. I did a load of laundry, put it in the dryer, started another load of laundry, went back to start the dryer, and the control board was dead.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So luckily it was in the
Super easy to-
90s. So I hung stuff up in the garage and got it dry.
Super easy to swap out stuff like that. You gonna try to fix
Well, I
it?
did. I found one new control board for $200,
Okay.
$250, something like that. And well, then I found one on eBay for like 150.
Now we're talking.
Ordered that, and then I got the shipping notice, and then they contacted me, said there was kind of a mix up. We think this is a used part, not a new part. So they refunded me what I paid for it. And so I ended up buying a used part, and it worked great for a day. Well, it worked. I won't say great. It worked for a day. We were able to do some loads of laundry and dry, but it was like randomly beeping. No error codes, and then it died. So it's not working again. So we're just gonna go ahead and get a new dryer. Yeah, it's pretty sure the model's discontinued. So there are very few OEM new boards, control boards. So everything else is just used. And looking at how many were sold, there's a lot being sold. So it looks like kind of a common problem, which that's one of the problems with the electronic, the computer brains in washers and dryers.
Yeah, what was wrong with just the knobs?
Get a
They-
washboard.
They'll
Get a
last
washboard.
forever.
Don't you live next to a lake? Just get a washboard.
Well, the washer's still working for now.
well, I mean, if you believe what people say, I mean, all appliances are made with planned obsolescence these days, unfortunately.
I don't believe that. I've worked on too many of them. My refrigerator is old as hell, 20 years old.
Just because
Well-
you worked on it doesn't mean everybody's going to work on it.
The
Oh, I
newer
know.
fridges have the same problem with the computer controls are the problem, that they don't
Well.
last.
Most people have it go bad. They don't know what in the world it is or how to fix it, and they go to hire a repairman to check it out. And by the time the repairman makes his money and you pay for the parts and stuff, they're like, "Oh, I might as well just get a new fridge." And then boom, they just go get a new fridge because a lot of people don't trust themselves to work on stuff like that. Heck, I had a TV. The screen got broke, but it got broke pretty severely. And the place I bought it from, they came, looked at it, and they're like, "Yeah, might as well just get a new TV. The part alone to fix that's $3,000." I was like, "What?" I was like, "The TV was only $2,000." They're like, "Yep."
Yeah, but I did get to go to the range a couple times in the last couple weeks, which was nice. Went with buddy Kevin, who I've known since junior high, so like 40 years, and then went. What day did I go? Wednesday, Thursday. I went Thursday. This last Thursday, sighted in some backup sites and kind of realized how the combination of me and the backup sites, they'll get the job done, but they're not super accurate. And sighted in one of the range strips, sighted in red dots on the AR rifles. And I don't know
happened there?
how. What's that? It
me.
again, it does all right, but 50 yards or farther, your dot is the size of your target. So I don't know how. I was watching some videos after I got back on sighting in red dots, and I don't know how they're shooting these tight 3-dot groups.
Consistency.
Wow. Bearded guy, tattooed guys, hitting the rack. Have a good night.
Do I have any cards over here? You got a piece of paper?
But it shot for what I thought was good enough. My goal is always about hand size, because that's that'll be about center mass size. If I can stay within that, then I'm usually happy.
See, that isn't fair because my hands are smaller than most people, so that means I have to be a better shooter than everybody else. Don't hardly seem right. I need to
Well,
use
man,
G-Web's hands to measure my groups.
There you go.
Might go tomorrow.
I try to shoot finger size groups.
I got some Meprolite backup sights that I put on my 300 blackout. So if I'm up in them early, then I'll go sight those in. They have a finer point on the front sight, so I'm hoping that will help me a little bit. Rather than the other backup sights are the Magpul, kind of they're cheap ones. So I'm hoping a little finer point will help me be a little more accurate.
So this is a target. I don't know. I should have used black. Maybe I don't have a black pen.
I can. Oh, here, let me make you big here. I can see it.
Okay. So if this is the target, and then I'm going to pick these pieces. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this guy. You get out of here. You're making too much noise. Go play with Mel. So that's your target, and here's your huge dot that's covering your whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Or like even worse, like it's covering this whole thing. Well, what the hell? Do we only shoot at dots? I mean, if your whole goal is to shoot at dots, I guess. But in reality, you're going to be shooting at, some guy walking, or I guess some critter walking probably. And you don't got any reference there, right? So in other words, you look at that whole target, that's its target stand, right? Or whatever. But even if it's just the piece of paper, so then you use that as your index or your reference. Like you've got other things on that paper to orient yourself with. And if you know that this thing is, whatever, you think of the midline on this, on your dot, you put that, and then you just go for that repetition or that consistency every time.
That's a really good idea. I did not think of it that way.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think of the other stuff. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I was thinking it more of as if I was shooting a scope.
And then, I don't want to put this. I'm going to do this. No, that doesn't work. But let's say that I'm shooting this thing and it's really far away now, right? Like that's 300 yards away, and I have to shoot up and down to hit that thing.
Yeah.
So if I went like this and hit straight onto it, I really want to pull up a thing, but I can't, right? So if I did this, my bullet's gonna drop down, right? So I
Yeah.
need to somehow shoot way the hell up here, and people are like, how do I aim way up there? So you keep your front sight on you put your front sight on your target. This is our target, let's say. So I got my front sight on that target, and then I bring my rear sight down, right? And I'm gonna bring my rear sight down. Dang, I wish I could bring something up here. What do I have that I can? Oh, I know. Huh, look at this. Look at this. I just have a drill. I'm allowed to have a drill, right? I can have a drill. So let's say that that's my front, and something back here is let's say that those things are my rear, right? And that's my front, and that's my target. And that thing is 300 yards. I'm going to bring these things down, and I'm going to index my rears off of maybe my chamber, or maybe, I don't know, it's probably going to come down, but it's going to come down, and I'm going to use the slide of my pistol and my rear sights look in here somewhere with my front sight there. And now, boom, you're going to go up and you're going to have a repeatable rear sight off your own slide for distances 300 to 200, 600 yards, however long that bullet can actually go. That's why might as well carry a decent caliber so you can actually take it out that far. But you can do that with pistols. You can do that with rifles with iron sights.
Oh,
Iron sights can go out as far as
I'll
you
have
can
to try
see.
that.
In fact, they can go out further than you can see because they're actually peeps. So they help people with bad eyes see, and people with good eyes see way further. That's why they made peeps in the first place. But anyway, think of, man, I really want to hold a rear. But if you take your pistol that you have right now and just do this, keep your front sight on something really far away and come down, you can index. I've got videos because back in the days we could do that stuff. I have videos. I don't know if they're still legal on YouTube or not, but where that's how I shoot. I mean, that's a way to shoot, but that's how I shoot 200 yards with a pistol without having to shoot, aim somewhere at a tree up here that has nothing to do with the target. I keep my front sight on my target and compensate.
Yeah, I've always just, shifted everything up. If I'm shooting low, then by however low I'm shooting, I just shift everything up. I haven't tried.
And if there's wind, you
front
can do windage also. You just start indexing. I mean, it's a challenge. It's a way to shoot, but it's done. It's possible.
Yeah, I'll have to try it. I haven't.
And when you're talking excess, it's the same kind of thing. Like, just think of that excess as being in the way of stuff, but that stuff has relationship to your target, and just use that stuff instead. Because, I mean, you definitely want a big dot in the, like, oh my goodness, I need that thing right now. Like, that's when you want a big dot. But when you're sitting around, you got nothing else to do, then sit around and take some time and figure out what's near that thing, or maybe even something, a characteristic like a knot in the wood that's holding up this target stand or something. You're allowed to use all that stuff when you're shooting. I mean, some people probably have other theories and wouldn't like my theory, but it gets the job done, and you're able to kind of not look through your sights, but use your sights as an indicator of where your gun's going to shoot. And then, sure, you can't see what you're shooting at, but you're also trying to shoot at something like you just said that's 3 inches. Yeah, you'll never be able to see that. If you had a tiny little blade sight, you'd be able to see it, but now you have to have really good eyes to be able to see your blade sight on, in contrast on top of your target.
That is exactly how you described that, G-Webs. That's how I was brought up to shoot, like deer hunting and stuff. Just lower those back sights for a longer distance.
Oops. Yep. Can't turn the camera on to unmute. Yeah, that's nothing. That's I'm just saying what my grandpa taught me. I'm not saying anything I came up with or anything.
Oh, it's interesting. I hadn't.
I mean, they shot
heard
at
that
planes with handguns, in wars and stuff. So they figured out what stuff to do. And if you look at like Arisaka, I don't have one anymore. You ever seen the rear sights on Arisaka, the airplane sights on Arisaka?
I have. I can say I have seen them, but I can't.
Kind of go like this or something. So, like they, how the rear sights on a rifle are back here, and sometimes they'll do things like these open up, so that way you can lead the thing by, like, I don't know how they work anymore. It's been a long time since I've even seen them, but they're made so you can lead a plane by like 8 inches and still have your front sight on it. because your front sight is still, when you're thinking of the math, your front sight is the pivot or the fulcrum, I guess, of the equation. So if you can keep that on your target, then everything else is like, oh, I just need to move the butt a little bit over to the left or a little bit more over to the left, for leading the plane or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, and I don't have a topic for tonight. So I think you overpromised with your post about this being the most interesting hour and a half to 3 hours. So I'm open to suggestions. Anybody has any topics? Anybody out in the chat? Anything you guys want to talk
Well,
about?
let's talk about what movies you've been watching. Anything?
I have not watched anything.
Oh my goodness.
I haven't had time to sit down for that long and watch something.
Gizzards, it sounds like he has some news. Was that new news that you said in the Hillbilly show, or is that I just didn't know about it until today?
Which news are you in reference to?
The Grandpa Gizzard.
Oh, fairly new. Yeah, my daughter's expecting in January, I guess.
Oh.
Well, they've known it for a while, but they just made it official a couple weeks ago, and then they got the sex determination for sure today, which is what they were hoping for and expecting, which is a girl. So, be my second granddaughter. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, congratulations.
Well,
Thank you.
congratulations. And if it's born on January 5th, it'll hit my birthday. If it's born on January 8th, it'll hit Elvis's birthday.
Yeah, and then mine's in 29th of January. So
There you go.
that's what I told her. She said, well, I hope it's not late enough in the month to be around yours, because we're hoping around the first or second week. It's like you get what you get sometimes, So
Are you concerned that she's going to have her birthday right at SHOT Show? Is that going to be an issue when she's older and she's going to SHOT Show?
boy, that'd be horrible. That would just be horrible. Didn't even think about that.
Ozzy said he's going to be a great grandfather in September.
Hey, I think Gizzard will be a great grandfather also.
Nice.
I'll try to be.
That's
And
crazy.
Congrats, Ozzy.
The Saint asks, do you really need to let your AR barrel cool down for accuracy?
Yes, for sure. But there's the but. It really doesn't matter, but it does matter to people who really care. And it depends on the barrel.
Depends on a few things. I mean, how accurate are you looking to be? Are you just looking to hit paper at 100 yards or 200 yards? Or are you looking to, try and fit 5 shots inside a quarter at 300 or 400 yards?
And if you got like a little thin pencil barrel, it's more of an
Yep.
issue than if you've got some kind of really
Full barrel.
a barrel that's engineered, maybe has like a spiral cut cooling thing in it. They're made to anyway, so they can be different.
Mm-hmm.
But I've known from hanging out at the range, I've seen people with like, I don't remember if they shot CO2, they shot something through a tube. So they would shoot and then they'd blow air through their barrel. And I thought it was just, they were just blowing the smoke out of there, but it's to cool it and from the inside. And then other people would shoot and then sit around BSing for like a half an hour and then shoot again and then sit around BSing for a half an hour. Because this is Arizona. It doesn't cool down fast or nothing. But I definitely know people that are concerned about it enough. Like Barbecue saying, if you want to try to hit all of them close, then you want every advantage you can get. And it's also expensive. So nothing wrong with taking some time and contemplating what you just did, what you're about to do, watching weather conditions. When you're paying ultimate attention, you're looking at like how the grass is moving out there and what the piece of paper is doing or the cardboard is doing. If the cardboard's rocking back and forth, in the place, a lot of those guys would wedge their targets frames in there, but they're paying attention to a lot of stuff, so they never were in any hurry that's one of the reasons I never got into that stuff. I can act like I'm patient, but I do not like sitting around just waiting for a barrel to cool. But really, no, you don't need to. People go through whole entire wars never letting their barrel cool, right?
I guess Hillbilly didn't like that. He didn't want to wait. He
didn't have time to let his barrel cool down.
He's a go now kind of guy. I tried this last time out to the range. I tried to be a little more deliberate with the shots, slow down a little bit. I will tend to want to go a little faster. So this time I tried to, consider my shots, slow down a little bit. That's one reason where I don't use mag loaders or anything. I will preload mags that I take to the range, but when I'm reloading, I do it manually, partly just to slow myself down. So I don't start rushing. Mr. Bob wants to know, is this going to be the Gizzard Gary baby pool giveaway promo?
I never thought about that.
No, but there will be.
I would not give away the baby. That's just my opinion.
In 2 weeks, I think it's 2 weeks, will be the 100th Wednesday Night Mouse Party. So there will be a giveaway on there. Such things as one of the survival knives that X Adam 1 sent to me. Gizzard Gary has one of these.
Yes, I do.
And back over there somewhere, there's a survival hatchet and something else. I forget what the other thing was that I was going to give away. It was something that I actually bought.
Bill? $100 bill?
No.
An antique $100 bill that's worth $1,000?
And something else. And some stickers and patches and stuff like that too.
There should be 100 prizes. Traditionally, there would be 100 prizes.
Thank you. The same reminded me. Rubber band gun. The AK rubber band gun. The really cool one where the charging handle moves on it as it's firing.
I totally need that in my life. I've got 3 children that would just absolutely hate me after. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, so that'll be in, I think it's 2 weeks. I think will be the 100th. And I just had thought of something as we were talking, and it has slipped away. Yeah, I don't know what it was now.
Does it relate to how shooting your children with a rubber band AK gun is not child abuse?
No, I would not consider it child abuse unless you're, butt stroking them too at the same time as you're shooting.
What's that thing called where you take a rubber band and you put it between your fingers, and then you go up and you snap it on somebody? Like it really hurts.
I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure.
But maybe that's the only thing you could do with a rubber band that would be abuse. I think everything else is too flimsy. It's not. I don't think that's abuse.
Remember back in school, we would take paper and you fold it up a few times, which would harden it, and then you'd shoot it at each other. We called those paper hornets, which those are pretty wicked.
Essentially like a twack, or like a just folded piece of paper, and then you'd wing it like, I think we
You just fold it up.
it's just like bent in half.
You can do that with paper clips too, but it's highly
Yep.
not
Oh,
recommended.
paper clips were wicked. Oh my gosh. When we upgraded to paper clips,
You can hurt
that
people
was
with paper clips.
a game changer.
Well, if
Take
you're
the
thinking
paper
of the
clip.
same thing I'm thinking of with a paper, you could fold just like a regular piece of paper from like your notebook or whatever, piece of paper out of a book, and fold it to where you could. That thing could be pretty difficult. Like that would hurt. Like you could.
Yeah, you
You'd
just
have to.
kind of
It'd be hard to sit still when you get hit with that.
fold it into a wedge and have it be real small, and it just almost gets to the point where you even have trouble folding the piece in half to put
Yeah,
around the rubber band.
But that's perfect for when it was. If I remember, that was when it fit the rubber band perfectly. When it was sort of like a V shape, because you couldn't fold it anymore,
Yep.
and then it was super dense. I think we call them twacs. TWACK. Let me see if that's a word.
Way better than Paper Hornet. I started making mine out of vanilla folders.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That'd be way more dense or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't take nearly as much folding. Those were wicked.
No, they're calling a twack to strike with great force using the middle finger after putting it against your thumb. So it's more like a flick or something. Oh yeah, like if
we
you
always call that getting twanged.
So you're talking like,
yeah. That's what they're calling a twack on the internet.
okay.
So I don't know what the hell thing we
It's a
call
little
them. Maybe I'm thinking of it wrong. I haven't said the word in a long time. I've thought about them every once in a while because I'll shoot them at my cats and stuff. If I got like a receipt, I'll wad it up and shoot. If I got a rubber band and a receipt or something, and there's a cat nearby, I'll do that. You know, I'll shoot at a cat or something, or shoot in front of the cat so he runs after it or something.
I used to have these spring-loaded airsoft pistols that had the big airsoft things in them, and I wanted to shoot them at the cats, and my daughter wouldn't let me.
No, that's got to be traumatic to a cat.
She said, "Well, I'll tell you what." She says, "If you'll take your shoe off and shoot yourself in a barefoot with one, then I'll let you shoot a cat." I'm like, "Nah, I don't think so."
Oh shit! There's a picture of the thing in air. Is that what you were looking at earlier? Going back to what happened earlier today. I'm just scrolling through Instagram and I just noticed there's a picture of
Oh yeah,
something in flight. It's crazy. Sorry, just didn't know that was a thing out there.
Hillbilly was showing us that in the after chat. Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course. How hard is it to fake anything in 2024? Just to, burst on the internet with new footage and, Photoshopped. Turns out in 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, there's the pictures on their Discord and the news. So don't know for sure. Could be anything streaking behind them. Yeah,
that's true.
It appears to be a bullet going by, but even sometimes like a bug flying by can leave a streak.
Yep. My thing when I saw the photo where, is that a bullet? And I'm thinking to myself, nobody there was shooting with a camera that was going to be shooting with a shutter speed fast enough to try and catch that, and just you catch it on the off chance. I mean, that's a 1 in a trillion shot. Like it's just not going to happen.
Well, I figured there's got to be like a zillion opportunities. Everybody had a camera, right? Like not maybe while he was speaking, but immediately after. Like those.
I'm sure there was press there, so yeah, some of them would have had cameras.
But again, none of them are going to be shooting with a shutter speed fast enough to catch that. Is what I'm saying.
Oh no, I hear you, but I'm just saying there's got to be with like 1,000. Well, there's not 1,000, but like with 100 cameras, there's a more of a chance that somebody will have caught something. But I agree with you. These are cameras that are designed to not
image
see
taken
stuff.
If it's still a still image taken from video, that one I have trouble believing also, simply because normally people are shooting with high-speed cameras to catch video speeding bullets.
I have seen, I think it was somebody's video. They were shooting 22, so it was moving slower than I'm guessing whatever this guy was using. But he was shooting like an old propane canister, and I caught a frame of it where you could see the streak of the bullet just as it's hitting. But again, the 22 is going to be probably moving a lot slower, so it might show up easier. But I have seen it, have done it, got the screen capture of one. Pacifist,
Yeah, I'm not
that's
saying
who
it's not.
it was. A Pacifist video.
I'm not saying it's not impossible, but not trying to do it and having done it and not having cameras specifically set up to try and catch that, just, man, that's astronomical odds.
Yeah, and it was just, I was watching his video, and then I just happened to see that little something caught my eye, so I went back frame by frame and then realized, oh, hey, you can see this. It was kind of weird because you could see the streak and see the hole that it made. So you saw the streak after the bullet was actually gone, because you could see, going frame by frame, you see the hole appear and you see the streak a little bit back from the hole.
Could be something about the way cameras work.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know how they actually take all those pictures and put them in a film strip. But I know they have like 4 cameras for one image, like that, like a 4 megapixel camera is literally 4, like the Brady Bunch, it's like 4 1 megapixel cameras in the same, next to each other. So each one is taking a picture. It might have something to do with that. Anyway, sorry to go back to that.
Oh, that's all right. Like I said, there wasn't really a topic, so we can talk about whatever anybody wants to talk about.
What do you think just fell over in my other room? Let me go look.
Mr. Bob said he would use a bent bobby pin. And load one like the arms of a spring steel. They call it a bee stinger.
Never thought about bobby pins. Bobby pins would be pretty wicked too. Those would be right on par with paper clips.
You need to have a sister around for something like that.
I don't know. As a kid, I maybe remember doing it with paper, but not paper clips or anything like that.
Oh yeah, it wasn't as easy because we didn't have paper clips. But
oh, now that I think about it, staples. I think we'd use staples.
probably would work. They're a little thin, but if you got like a thing of staples and have like 4 together, that would work maybe.
I heard of a couple kids that would put staples in the center of the paper hornet itself.
To give it weight.
No, so it would poke you.
Oh, like I mean like barbs or whatever, like
Yeah.
arrowheads. Well, we got. Did we get suspended? I don't think we got suspended. We got in pretty good trouble though, because we used to take the erasers off of pencils and stuff, and then jam pins in them, and make like 3-dimensional stars out of those. Like you jam 6 pins into an eraser, and it's gonna stick in somebody. And then we just wear our winter jackets and wing them at each other. We got in trouble for that a bunch of times, but we kept doing it because there was always erasers and pins laying around. But you can only do it in the winter.
I don't think we ever did that.
And you can wing them into the ceilings too. We had those ceilings that were made out of probably asbestos or something. So we wing pencils up in the ceiling all the time, but then you'd be out of pencil. But if you winged an eraser, especially like you just get some old pencil that ain't yours and you yank the eraser out of it immediately, nobody cares. Like it's still pencil's still around. Then you could take a couple of pins and we'd spend 15 minutes trying to get it to stick in the ceiling with nobody seeing. And then it's amazing fun because it comes down. Like if you miss, it comes down. So you have to be really good at not hitting anybody as it comes down. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I guess I can remember doing that 1 year. So I guess we only did that for a little while. If I remember right, that was the teacher that read some book to us about kids back in I think it was in the 30s. And they would take ball bearings and put them in the fire and then use wrist rockets or slingshots and shoot them at each other. And we were like, brilliant. So we went home and like used nuts and bolts and stuff and would like wing nuts and because I don't know, we didn't heat them up or nothing, but we figured out like, oh yeah, we should use stuff way heavier. And we all have nuts and bolts at home. So we just all went home and got nuts and bolts and stuff. We didn't have ball bearings, but we had nuts and bolts to shoot at each other. So until we all ran out of the loose nuts and bolts laying around, we were shooting those at each other with slingshots because of what our teacher read us in a book.
You guys played for keeps in your neighborhood, didn't you?
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, we had winter coats. It was winter. And if you missed, you were hitting snow. So in the winter, we didn't shoot BB guns at each other, but wrist rockets and stuff, like you could carry those around and ice with a wrist rocket is amazing. And yeah, you just turn around and get hit in the back. Who cares?
Why did they heat the ball bearings? Was it to temper them or did they shoot them hot?
No, they were shooting them hot just because this was something like back in, I forget what this, there must be, somebody else must have heard this story, but that's that part I remember. It was about, I think it was about like hobos, people on trains in the 30s, I think, but I honestly don't remember, but I do remember that aspect of it. And we all kind of wondered, why would he tell us about this? Because he knows we're running around with slingshots all the time anyway. And anyway, I mean, it was like 6th grade or something. It was a long time ago. But I do remember that teacher. I don't even know why he would be reading us that thing. I think it was like during lunch or something of a occasion or something. I'll see if I can find it. Well, how am I going to even find that? A book about hobos in the 30s, slingshot wars. Oh, I'll ask a robot and see if a robot will know what it is. Paying this robot good money. You better know what it is.
Yeah, I almost missed the chat tonight. I laid down to take a nap, an hour nap, and I woke up 10:30. Yo. Luckily, when I woke up at 10:30. Gizzard? Can you do me a favor? On the Discord, on my Discord, on the general page, Mr. Bob put a picture. Can you share that so I can show it?
Sure. Give me one moment.
I've been asking the robot over here. It goes, it sounds like you might be recalling the Great Slingshot Wars referenced in the context of historical slingshot usage, which often involves steel ball bearings. While there's no specific book detailing slingshot wars, there are numerous resources discussing the use of slingshots and ball bearings in various contexts. Were there the Great Slingshot Wars that I don't know about?
I was not familiar with it.
Was the robot just making shit up?
Mr. Bob said when you press the double loop end against a surface, it releases the spring energy.
So you didn't need a rubber band or nothing. You could just take that against like the edge of a desk or something. That's pretty cool.
That probably hurt.
Yeah, I'm guessing so.
Wasn't way too much though.
Mr. Bob said it leaves welts.
Oh, okay.
Caucasian Sasquatch is out there, and he seems to be familiar with this device.
Luckily, I have no bobby pins laying around.
Yeah.
I don't have enough hair to require bobby pins.
This would have got somebody covered in an icy hut. Also, I don't mean to go back to the current event stuff, but that photo that we had just been talking about, apparently it was taken by the New York Times.
Oh, so that might have been a fancy ass camera. Probably
Well,
was
one
a
of the things
fancy.
one of the things I'm still confused about is if you watch the video, he's got people behind him, and with this shot, it's just blue sky. Now, you could say it's because of the angle, but I don't think the angle is that steep that they wouldn't have gotten any of the crowd behind them.
Well, the
Well,
person shooting the platform was elevated, so the
Yeah.
person shooting the picture would have been several feet below the president, and the
Yeah.
crowd wasn't that high up in the air. So it's not unbelievable at all to not have crowd behind it. 'Cause
It
you'd have
looked to
be
me.
up at a hell of a height to see the crowd.
It looked to me like the president was on like a stage about a couple of maybe a foot or two off the ground, so up in the air a little bit, and then on a platform, and then there was like a space, and then behind that platform was a set of stairs and risers where people were sitting, and that's all the people you seen behind them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there was
Yeah.
a gap between there, right? Like that
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah, the
wouldn't
crowd
come-
wasn't that high up in the air.
Yeah, so I think because they're saying like that guy that was probably like on a tripod, looking kind of straight up at the president or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it wasn't. Well, I was going to say maybe it wasn't even ready to take a picture because it was sort of a goofy angle, but it was because it did take a picture. So I have no idea how that works. Are those things like just running video constantly and they just pull stills off of them, or do you still pull the shutter every time?
Battery's got it set to shoot picture after picture.
No,
But I
let's
mean-
say New York Times. I mean, heck, the photographer could have had multiple cameras set up. However, he felt he needed and was allowed to do, and he could have been doing everything off of remote shutters.
Just kind of randomly taking pictures here and there, seeing what works.
Well, he just dials into settings and then takes a bunch of shots, and then he would have been going back and picking, all right, this is the shot that we want, and sending it off, and there you go.
Yeah, because you can be all set up
It's
and not
pretty-
know when his mouth is open or his eyes are closed or something. So you're going to take a shit ton of pictures constantly.
Yeah, I say because it's for the New York Times. It's not like they're needing 1,000 photos. They only need one. So while the guy's gonna take a ton, all he's doing when he gets back to his hotel room is going through them real quick. He might do a very, very quick edit. Most news photographers, from what I have gathered, usually don't edit their photos. They just send them straight out of camera to the editor, and there you go.
I think it's just the angle because I'm looking at the still from when he stands back up and he's got his fist raised. You can't
Yeah.
see the crowd behind him.
No,
You see blue sky. I mean, there's like a flag in the shot back behind him, but you can't see any people behind him, only blue sky. Have a good night, Caucasian Sasquatch. Thanks for stopping by.
see you, Sasquatch. Yeah, like I said, I didn't mean to go back to that. As just one of the photographers that I follow on YouTube and Instagram and stuff had made a post where it actually mentioned that the photographer was for the New York Times. So I was like, oh, well, at least we know where it came
Yeah.
from. Which, I mean, given daylight like that, a lot. If you look at the stuff that I shot at Thunder on the Prairie, I was shooting at like 1/2000th of a second, which again, I had to motor drive to just get the slide cycle on a couple people shooting, because I wanted to get a shot of the slide open as they shot. And I had to motor drive and take like 30 shots in a row, which with the mechanical shutter, my camera will do 15 shots per second. And like I said, I was holding down the shutter for about 2 seconds each time to get the shot that I wanted. So either, and again, why they would be motor driving at a presidential rally, because again, no reason to. You're just snapping shots, one. Honestly, they probably have it set in a single shot mode. That way, you're not getting 3 shots of the person blinking or something like that, because some of the cameras are super quick. And if they're using anything that is mirrorless with an electronic shutter, then you should be looking upwards of 30 shots per second. So again, obviously it's not impossible. It's just, man, that's a once in a lifetime chance if that wasn't monkeyed with.
And
And it would
Vulcan
take
Rumbles.
like a moment to make like a little smudge in Photoshop, so it wouldn't be hard to make that.
Wants to know if he's being heavily censored tonight. I'm not censoring anybody.
I'm not seeing any things deleted, so you can't put URLs in there for what it's worth.
What are you writing?
Because he had asked when Bacon Bits was snoring, he asked if that's what he was hearing.
He's snorting. He wasn't sleeping. I don't know what he was sniffing, but he didn't agree with him. He was snorting for a while.
Gunmetal Guy USA's out there listening. Hoping probably next Wednesday to take somebody to the range again.
Awesome.
I know, pretty sure he's shot rifles before, and not sure because he wanted to shoot handguns. So he may have shot some handguns, but we'll try and get him out there to try some new calibers and stuff. He was gonna go Friday and buy one of the Chiappa 22s, the ones that look like the bicycle guns, the kind of wireframe rifles. Something just to have fun with.
Nice.
Vulcan Rumble asked, did anybody put their flag out? I did not.
No. Because of why? Because of what happened today? Or some other reason?
That's what I was guessing.
Gunmetal guys out there?
Yes, I said hello.
Oh, I missed out.
And I had missed back up a little while ago. Junior 605. Good evening.
You got a project that's in the works, or the next project that's on the drawing board?
What kind of project?
I don't know. You making anything?
Only thing I've got kind of on the list to do is my neighbor has gravel that kind of comes. He's got a sloped area, and I've got a walkway right next to it, so the gravel will kind of work its way onto the walkway. So I was going to put in. I told him I would take care of it all, everything, and put in a little edging to help keep the gravel up off the walkway. That's about it. I just waiting for it to kind of cool down. It's been in mid to upper 80s or 90s, lower 90s lately. So once the weather cools down, then I'll go in and take care of it. Probably use same kind of block that I've used for everything else that all the other edging and planter beds that I've done. But that means I have to dig, what are they, 8 inches? 6 or 8 inches deep, and maybe about 12 inches across. Maybe not, maybe 10. So I've got to dig out a trench, and then I just have been using sand because it doesn't need to support any weight other than itself. I'll dig down usually about far enough so one course is down below grade, or even with grade on the top, and then build up from there. And it's worked out so far. Vulcan Realm. Let's go Gunmetal Guy. Are you having any luck finding 450 Bushmaster ammo? Yeah. Just when I go up to Cabela's, they've been having it. So I'll pick up a box. It's kind of spendy. But I'll pick up a box now and again. I haven't had too much trouble finding ammunition. It's just, kind of cost prohibitive. And Vocal Rumble has a question for you, G-Webs. When you look at performance of 300 Blackout, the ballistics seems to be very close to that of the 45 ACP. Do you think 300 Blackout is worth it when you can use 45 ACP?
I mean, I'm assuming that means in a rifle, right? So, no. I mean, yes. I would not consider I don't know. I'm no ballistics person, but I don't know how those two are similar. If they are, it's on paper, but just look at them. 45 ACPs can only have so much powder in it, and the Blackout is way bigger. So you can don't you increase energy in a longer barrel to some point? So I can't imagine that the 45 ACP I'm assuming in some kind of a PCC carbine configuration could perform to what 300 Blackout can do. At least not anywhere near the distance, but I don't know. Has anybody ever looked at a comparison between a PCC and a 300 Blackout?
I have never thought about comparing. 45.
I wouldn't think it'd even be close.
Yeah, I mean, unless I'm wrong, like I'm saying, I don't really pay attention at all. I don't even own 300 Blackout. It's newer than I was buying. I quit buying guns when 300 Blackout was still a baby, whatever it was called before, Whisper. So I never bought anything at 300 Blackout. I was practical too. Like when I was buying stuff, I was buying ammo when I went places. So, I mean, I'm not saying I only have a couple of kind of ammo calibers, but because I have a lot of ammo calibers, I wasn't necessarily looking for a whole new caliber to have to purchase. So I never got into the 300.
When I punched it into the Google, I guess there's a lot of people that have looked at comparing the two.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Cool.
Are they close then?
I'm not sure. I'm just looking at
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read up on this
Search
now
it,
because
you
I
know.
wasn't aware of it. Okay.
But
can
I
learn.
still say what's theoretical at the range or whatever, and what's practical. Name a 45 ACP gun that is useful, like a PCC. It's a nice caliber and everything. You can get it in good pistols, but in a PCC, it's going to either be an AR, so it's a blowback AR. And that's not. I mean, it works, but it isn't tested anywhere. No one's ever
I think
brought
High
a.
Point makes a 45 ACP carbine.
Yeah, so it's essentially consumer grade stuff. And 300 Blackout is going to be a different caliber, but it's still going to be a gun that's been there and done that. So it's not ergonomic, but at least it's a manual of arms that people are familiar with. Anything you get in 45 ACP is going to be some goofy proprietary manual of arms. So realistically, it's just all on paper if they are anywhere close to each other. I can't see it being a serious, because again, there's nothing in 45 ACP. There's no gun in 45 ACP that's gonna be up to the task.
Oh, I could see like subsonic 300 Blackout being closer to 45 ACP because it is the subsonic is slower than the.
Oh, there's different 300 Blackouts. I thought the whole point was 300 was subsonic. You have to get, it's like 9mm or something where you have to get a special one that's subsonic.
Well, because I run subsonic because I've got the can for the 300 Blackout, so it's quiet.
I thought it was like 45. I thought, because 45 is all subsonic. I thought 300 Blackout was just the subsonic caliber or something.
Because the 300 Blackout bullet should have better coefficients than the 45 ACP, but
I would think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 45 ACP will end a world war, but you only need a pistol for that. You don't need nothing else.
I don't know. It's something interesting. I'll have to look into that in more detail.
And then let's not forget, you can get a single shot Liberator and end a world war real quick too. So one round of 45 ACP is all you need.
Mr. Bob is saying from what he saw, 300 Blackout had superior penetration to 45 ACP, even at subsonic speeds.
Yeah.
Vulcan Rumble, both are 850 feet per second, around 200 to 230. Uzi M3 grease gun, 10-inch barrel.
Interesting.
Oh, is the M3 45 ACP? I forgot about that one. I don't think of the 45 AC. I don't think of the grease gun as being like a 300 Blackout gun. I think of the M3 as being like, get out of my tank or get out of that pillbox or die or something in front of me. Like, it's not, I never thought of it as like, hey, look at that guy on the other side of the field. Or like, hey, look at that guy across the room. Let's shoot him in the nuts, like with a grease gun. Whoever even brings a grease gun up to their shoulder. So that's a good point, but I never thought of it. Uzi, on the other hand, Uzi and 45 ACP is awesome theory. Go ahead and show me any of them. I've only seen like 4. I've seen fewer 40 AEs, and I've seen only 1 or 2 the 10mm ever. But the 45s, like they're, and Bob like bought an Uzi every time he's seen one. So I've seen a lot of Uzis go through the shop, and there's just hardly ever a 45. I think he owned one, and then I think we had parts to one time, but they're just rare as hen's teeth. So unless they're different and they're available now or something, I don't even consider that a real thing. Same with a grease gun. There's no semi-auto grease guns that I'm aware of. So yeah, it's theoretically an option and everything, and it did work in the world wars and stuff, but there's also a reason they quit using them and they went to other guns. They were what they were. I'm not going to talk shit about them, but they're not H&Ks. They're not, there's a reason people like that AR platform now. But no, that's a great point. I didn't think about the grease gun.
Oh, looking at the Google machine, there's the Chris in 45.
Yeah, Chris's are theoretically neat guns, but you ever shot one yet?
No, I've
Do they
held
look
one,
Yeah, okay.
and it weighed a ton.
Yeah, exactly. You're carrying around like this giant contraption. When you're shooting full auto, yeah, it's neat. It's super really neat. Like the first time we shot him in full auto, I was like, wow, that is super neat. It's so flat. It's like shooting a 5.7, but you're shooting. I don't think I was shooting 45. I might have been shooting 45, but it's more likely 9. It was a shot or whatever.
Mm.
But for the longest time when they first came out, the range wouldn't let us shoot full auto out there. So we only ever got to shoot them in burst unless you went somewhere else. And then every once in a while we'd see one somewhere where I could actually shoot it. But it's like a Thompson. It's neat and it's kind of cool. If I had $1 billion and I wanted to own every gun or something, I'd have one. But that's all. Like it's too big for whatever to be a small gun, and it's just not necessary to be a big gun. It looks goofy as a big gun. It looks like a ukulele or something as a big gun. But it is a 45, that's for sure. But again, it's not used anywhere. It was a theory that they made a gun out of, and then we like to buy stuff, so they made a living selling it to people who like to buy stuff, but they never made a living selling it to people who used it for anywhere.
And next, I think Friday. Let me see what I've got scheduled. To do the 12. Oh, never mind. It already came out. So this last Friday. No.
Last Friday was the 12th.
Oh,
Next
August
Friday was the 19th.
12th. So in a month. It's scheduled way out. There's a short of my 300 blackout suppressed at the range. I want to get for that the.
Oh, you mean somebody has one scheduled?
I have it scheduled to
Okay.
release on the 12th. I want to get one of the recoil spring setups that looks like the little kind of piston thing, because it's quiet enough where you can hear everything in the gun working. And you hear the sprawling recoil spring.
And this is in 300 blackout. What are you going to get?
Yeah.
A damn thing?
It's a replacement for the recoil spring that's supposed to be quieter.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I think I've seen them.
I can't remember.
Dampeners or what?
Can't remember what they're called. It's been a while since I've looked at them.
Isn't there just one that's like a double coiled spring that just doesn't rattle as much in it?
Well, there is flat springs you can get, which are supposed to be
maybe that's
quiet.
what it is. Okay. 'Cause that's why I thought people were just changing their springs. I don't know anybody that's got 3. Well, do I know people? I think everybody I knew went to 6.5. Like, I don't think I knew very many people who went to 300. At the years that I was doing stuff, nobody was 300 was still 300 Whisper or whatever, and it wasn't established yet. They were all fighting. I think there was is it 8.5? And then there was something else. But anyway, so that's what they were suppressing. I don't know if they got that quiet. 223 or 5.56 gets pretty quiet, but I don't remember hearing springs or being annoyed by the springs or anything.
The round unsuppressed is still kind of quiet. It's not suppressor quiet, but it's a quieter round. And then with can on it, it's not movie quiet, but it's hearing safe. I've taken my hearing protection off just to test it.
Well, that's
But
sort of
when
a topic.
When you're shooting it, you can hear the action and the spring. So in a month, watch out for that video, and you can hear what it's like, for a bystander to hear it.
What do you think about the Baldwin thing?
I was going to tell Gary. I wish I had been on your chat because I had an opposing view
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
there were
think
plenty
you
of
and
them out
everybody
there.
do.
Yeah.
but not for the same reasons. That
Oh, okay.
I think the dismissal was fair and should have happened, even though the evidence was irrelevant to the charge. But the fact that they did not give over that evidence, then you have to. The judge was pissed. I watched the Gutierrez trial, and then have been watching.
What's the
the
Gutierrez
Baldwin
trial?
that was the armorer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Same
the judge
case,
was not
just
happy.
different person.
But if you look at what the law is for the manslaughter, according to New Mexico law, then and I don't remember the exact words, but basically, the fact that he pointed the gun at somebody and pulled the trigger, it doesn't matter where that round came from. Does not matter. That's what the defense hounded, because that's all they had as a defense. It's to kind of muddy the waters. And, he kept talking about where's the deadly round? Where's the deadly round? Well, the deadly round was in the director of photography. That's where the deadly round was, because Baldwin shot her. He pointed the gun directly at where she was. Well, both the people that got shot pulled the trigger, and that was reckless. So it fit the definition of the manslaughter according to the law. And it's not, I think that Baldwin is a good actor. I don't like him as a person, but I am able to separate out those two things. I can separate the artist from the art.
Well, now I wasn't there, but this happened indoors, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, it did?
And he would have been up front on the actual stage or whatever they were shooting at, looking at a camera, probably looking into lights, and basically trying to aim towards the camera in front of him. And I'm sure the cinematographer probably would have been back behind the camera, along with the assistant director, whoever got shot also. I doubt that he was actually aiming at people so much as aiming in the general direction of the camera for the shot. And so to say that he specifically picked out a person.
Well,
on the
I'm not saying
room
he
to shoot
pointed it at her to shoot her. I'm saying that he was pointing it at her when he shot her.
in
And
her
he's responsible.
direction.
Yeah.
Well, and he's responsible for where the barrel is pointing, is what you're also
Even
implying.
in if you look at the SAG directives on firearms, you never point them at a person. It's the rules that they're supposed to follow, which I know it's not law, but it shows that he's
right,
basically disregarding
So if the shot
those rules.
requires
So he's
that
not
you
being
shoot
safe.
at the camera,
You do
then-
not point it at a person. It is. I'm not getting mad at you.
No, I'm just saying if the shot
You-
requires
You
you aim
don't.
at
You
a
never
camera,
do.
then you
It
have
is.
a camera person get out from behind the camera. Is that?
You
Yeah.
never point it directly at the camera. You never point it directly at another actor. It's the same as a movie punch, where it's the camera angle makes it look like
right.
you're punching directly at the person. So when you point a gun in a direction and then have the camera angle, it looks like you're pointing it at a person. But you never, according to the guidelines, you never point it directly at a person.
But what if he couldn't see the people in the back of the room because
Then
of
you
all the
don't
lights
point the
in?
goddamn gun. It's just that he's the one that he pulled the trigger. Nobody else pulled the trigger. It doesn't matter who loaded the gun. Doesn't matter when it was loaded. Doesn't matter where the bullets came from. The gun was in his hand. He pointed it at somebody, whether he could see he did or not. If he couldn't see where he was pointing it, he should not have pulled that trigger. He should not have pointed that gun.
Were they even filming? He was
did.
just practicing, so he could have said "pow," right? He didn't have to pull the trigger.
Yeah, they were setting up for the shot.
Right. So I can understand why, I got to hold the gun so I get the shadow or whatever, or so you can set up your lights the right way. But again, he can go bang, bang. He doesn't have to pull the trigger. But it's because it's a negligence thing. It's not like, oh, I know the rules and I've decided not to do
Yeah,
them. He just didn't know the
it wasn't murder.
No, I don't think
It
was
was
murder.
it was
Negligent
100%
murder.
negligence.
Arrogant murder. Is that a thing? Negligent arrogance? That's what he should be charged with. My
But
problem
that
is that he's such an asshole and he hates guns so much that that should be brought into that should be a factor in the case.
No, it shouldn't. That falls more into popular opinion, not legal opinion.
Legally, he shouldn't be able to act anymore. That was also one of my points. Just as a, all right, well, we're not going to put you in jail, but you can't act anymore.
I love how you got Rich going on that one.
Yeah. Technically, that's not legal.
What's your basis for that? I don't think I was on the panel yet when that happened. I'm sitting there, I'm like, that was clearly sarcasm, Rich.
Yeah, I had no idea he was going to say that, but it was kind of funny. But the guy is such a fucking anti-gun son of a bitch that it sucks that he can just kill somebody and then walk away. Because he's going to walk away and go, guns are the problem. And I know firsthand that guns are the problem. They just go off and kill people, and I was just standing there witnessing it, and I'm not guilty. He's just going to be a dick about it.
It was the judge dismissed it with prejudice, so they can't retry him. I don't know New Mexico law, so if they can appeal, it looked like that's what the prosecutor was doing, because she put herself on the stand to testify. So she was making a record of certain things, which would be helpful if there's an appeal.
Wait,
so
who?
If they can appeal and overturn that ruling, then they can retry him.
Who put
I don't think they
on
can.
trial?
The prosecutor.
I don't think
She
they
took the
can
stand.
appeal it.
Yeah, it's my understanding that he can't be charged for this again.
Well, if new evidence came,
Criminally.
they could charge him again. But with everything that they have currently, since it was dismissed with prejudice, he's scot-free. But like I said, if new evidence were to arise for whatever reason,
well, see, that's the thing. If they appeal it to a higher court and the court throws out that ruling, then I believe he could be retried.
I don't know how they'd throw that ruling out. It's pretty cut and dried.
What?
With new evidence or something.
It was. That's the.
Well, I see
the
what
fact
Fox
that
is saying.
the fact that evidence, like I was saying, it was irrelevant to what the charge is. That's the only thing I could see. But
they said it would have been useful to the defense had they have had access to
it. Would not have been useful because it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter where that ammo came from.
Not what the judge ruled.
I know that's where that's where it'll be contested, is that she kind of glossed over.
I don't know if that can be appealed.
Well, I don't know either. That's my uneducated guess.
Well, then what about if that's criminally? What about civilly when sued?
Civilly, yeah, he could still be.
Okay.
Yeah. Whole different deal.
I'm pretty sure he.
What about
if
federally?
I remember
criminally?
correctly, he already settled out of court civilly.
No, that makes sense. He's got all the money in the world. So what about federally? Because that's the other thing. They always say you can get sued 4 ways: locally, federally, and then civilly, and criminally. So if he's already done with the criminals and civil local, what about federal? How do we get him federally?
He would have to
His
violate
state
some
lines.
federal crime.
This guy snuck out of California. He's not even a registered gun owner. He goes to New Mexico where he's not even legal to own a gun. They have laws against owning guns in New Mexico. And he kills somebody, gets away with it criminally. I think like he should at least legally not be able to act anymore. And legally all of his money should have to go to a pro-gun campaign.
Well, I mean, theoretically, I mean, if somebody wanted to look into who purchased those firearms, if he purchased them in New Mexico.
No, he didn't, though. Those guns are from the girl, right, who got in trouble?
No, those were props for the movie. She was just the armorer. She was in charge of taking care of
she
them.
Doesn't bring the long guns along with her. She's just there to make sure they work right. Okay.
If I had to guess, probably somebody at the studio or something like that. But
there was somebody by the name of Seth Kenny who was hired by the studio to supply guns and dummy ammunition for the project.
Oh, okay.
Somebody from Pieta testified. I think somebody named Pieta from Pieta testified. Yeah.
Well, that's because they did not want his narrative to slander them. They're like, BS. There is nothing wrong with that gun. He fanned the hammer.
This is the guy that didn't listen to any of the safety briefings, went against all safety protocols, and he's the expert who's going to say that the gun went off, like mechanically broken or something, like went off on its own. He doesn't even know how and when to use the thing. What do you think? I've seen something probably on Twitter, because Twitter's petty like this, but they go, normally he looks like he is a bum or whatever, like he just rolled out of bed and he's always wearing dirty clothes and stuff when he goes around to the bank and to eat and stuff, I guess, because he's a slob. And then he cleaned all up for the court. So somebody was commenting that that's an indication how fake it is, that he's trying to put on.
Well, everybody does.
I know, but I thought that was interesting that he's also a bad actor and he doesn't dress good. Therefore, legally, he shouldn't be able to act anymore. I don't know. You like him as an actor. I don't like him as an actor. He always seems like he's super smug, and I have no reason why I believe he's so smarter than anybody. Or I just don't like that rule.
I had heard the reason why he was so difficult to work with is why he's not in any of the other. He doesn't play Jack Ryan again.
Everybody's scared he's going to shoot him. I mean, he liked working with all the people in, oh man, what was that one show he was on with the girl from Saturday Night Live?
Oh, Third
Rock. No. Yeah,
30 Rock.
30 Rock. That show was on for a long time, and everybody liked him in there. I figured those people liked him. That could all been show, though. They just like making money.
I don't know. I don't know him.
Oh, you know what else? I didn't like him back from the days. Wasn't he one of the people that would be on Saturday Night Live all the time? Yeah. And he'd be like, hey, I'm back. Everybody loves me. And I'm like, oh, man, this episode's going to suck because this guy's on it again. So I remember not liking him back in those days.
Oh, I do like him as an actor. But I don't care for him as a
I'm
person.
often opposite of what people like, though. Like, I don't like a whole bunch of people that a lot of people like. I don't like Seinfeld. Everybody was having a thing about Seinfeld the other day. I've seen him, but I didn't look forward to him. I only watched him because everybody else was watching it, and nobody would let me change the channel.
I did like the TV show. His stand-up was and then interviews with him is
Yeah, he's super weird in the interviews.
Yeah.
He's like that guy from Full House. He was like always trying to be like, hey, I'm not just a sitcom guy. I'm crazy raunchy or whatever. Like he always went like extra raunchy just to not be the guy from the sitcom.
Well, he was kind of that way, if I recall, because I saw him do stand-up on TV. So he's kind of like that before.
Well, wasn't he on America's Home Videos too?
Yeah.
And he was so cheesy in that.
That that's kind of like Howie Mandel. Everybody loved Howie Mandel as a game show host, but if you ever saw his stand up early in his career, he was pretty raunchy too.
That my mom rented a video of Tim Allen, his stand up, after seeing him on Tool Time, or not Tool Time, but
TV show.
Improvement.
yeah, Home Improvement. So she thought, oh, I want to watch his stand up. And then she was kind of surprised at how he was in his stand up.
He was all like cocaine and beer and stories like that, right? In his stand up.
Kind of like that. You know, more swearing than on TV.
I got the impression, maybe I'm mixing something up, but I thought he was like an actual working guy and then became an actor. So his stand up was all just about like actual experiences from his jobs and stuff.
Maybe
I'm
I
mixing
don't
them up
remember
with
his
one of
stand-up.
them.
I
Did
know
some prison time, didn't he?
Yeah, he did time for cocaine,
Mhm.
selling cocaine. Oh, there's a lot of comedians that have demons. That's what drives their comedy.
Yeah, exactly. There's probably got to be
Yep.
some reason why they want to make everybody laugh all the time. What's the next flashlight you're getting?
Flashlight?
Another Streamlight.
I haven't bought a new flashlight in quite a while.
Yeah, I didn't have one in mind.
I've got this one that's it's decent. It's rechargeable. So I don't know what's something else I can show it next to. Here's a lighter. Right. So it's bigger than a lighter, quite a bit bigger than a lighter. Here's a little tiny keychain light, the AAA. So it's way bigger than a AAA. And that's what I used to use, a little stream light like this I would carry around, and I got used to it. This thing is significantly bigger, but I like the fact that I can just recharge it all the time, and it has this lockout so that it doesn't go off in my pocket.
I like the lockout.
Yeah, I like the lockout, and I like it's got a little thingy here that I can slide over, and now there's the USB slot that I can charge it with, and this goes back over. And it's got a nice clicky, and the clip is fine, but I forget who makes it. It's one of the brands. Anyway, whoever makes it, it's not a O-Light. It says Lumen Shield, but I think it's a brand that. Oh, there it is. Neck Light, or wait, Night Core.
Nightcore. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nightcore's been around for a while.
Right, they're okay, but it's the operation thing. Like you can click it on and off, and I'm okay at that. But that literally took weeks to be able to turn it on and off, because then I can kind of touch it a little bit, and it goes through the cycle of these brightnesses. And this is too freaking bright for just about everything you're gonna do. And then, so now I can whatever, right? But now if you just do this, now it's even brighter. Like, can you tell that?
Yeah.
Right, like this is the brightest level, and it can get even brighter. So it's like a 3-position clicker. It just drives me nuts. Luckily it can turn off, because otherwise it'll, Murphy's Law, it'll rotate over to the hottest setting and then stay on in my pocket. But at the lowest level it's great, and at the high level it's nice to be able to get really bright, however many lumens that is. But the form factor is killing me. It's like carrying around a freaking giant, it's just huge and heavy. Like, I need it to be about half this size. So anyway, that's why I've been kind of contemplating. Did you get one of these, Gizzard? The all-light clip.
Yeah, I have one.
This one's actually pretty decent. It's just a stupid form factor. So if I had, something that was this size, but like my old Streamlights. Anyway, so that's why I'm kind of wondering if I should.
Which way does that clip? Is it point up or point down?
The clip on here is kind of backwards.
Wow. Because if it was the other way, you could clip it to your shirt or a pocket or something.
You can, but now it's just, it's like, duh. just seems dumb because everything's upside down, but it really doesn't matter. I clip it to my shirt collar. I collar my shirt all the time when I'm going outside to walk the dogs or whatever. And this one has the same stupid issue that you have to turn it on and then you have to hold down the button to have it cycle through the different things. So
Yeah,
it's usually on the wrong setting. And then this one
I don't
also
like all the settings and features like that. I just want on and off. I don't need flashing or SOS.
Or give me like another button. Let me cycle through over here and then it just on and off. You know, like I can handle if you want to put a bunch of features in there, but I just don't want to access them unless I want them. And I don't want to
do red also, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I forgot how to even make it do that. You hold it down or something.
Double click.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I do like strobe features just in case I ever run into an epileptic burglar or something. Figure that would come in handy.
Well, if they do the SOS, I'm okay. If it's a camping flashlight, because yeah, you figure you get stuck somewhere, and you can put that up on top of a tree flashing, and it might, you know, especially if somebody's looking for you, it'll catch their eye. But most of the time, I'd rather have on off.
Yeah, now Gary can't do it. Oh, there you go.
There's red. Although it doesn't really look red.
Yeah, so bright it looks white.
Red. The webcam doesn't make it look red. The webcam doesn't render colored lights very well, I've noticed.
Oh, it looks red to me.
But if you clip it to your hat, it just points straight down. So it's kind of like, it's an interesting light, but it's. I mean, I'm not buying one. It doesn't point forward. It doesn't go straight in your eyes, but it's essentially useless. Yeah. I guess if you were working on something right in your front of your waist or something.
Yeah, I got it gifted to me. I'm not real sure what I'd ever use it for. And I've kind of kept it in a box, aiming to possibly give it away or something like that. There's nothing wrong with it. But
oh, and then the clip is a magnet. So I have it stuck to my toolbox over here. So it can be a work light.
Oh, by golly, it is magnet.
And it's a pretty good one for the weight of the flashlight, at least.
Okay.
So I just keep it, like, usually if I don't have another flashlight and I want to go let the dogs out, I have it with me.
Yeah, mine says 17th anniversary or something like that on it, I think. But it's USB rechargeable, which is nice compared to most of the O-lights. So,
Mr. Gary?
How long do you think before all the flashlights will just be set down on an electric coaster that charge them?
Soon. Yes, sir.
Can you do me a favor and share the general again in the barbecue? Put a couple pictures in there in the Discord.
Okay. Let's see.
The first one was a screw up.
Oh, so
you don't want the first one, you want the second one. Okay.
Yeah, the first one is.
All right.
And I will effort to remember to put in my password for the next chat, so I don't have to have other people doing this for me.
Which one of these is? Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like the second one better.
Look at the head on that one.
Is that going to be a video series, or is that a chat series, or what you got going on there?
Might be a chat series. Might start going live again.
Sweet.
Is that a misspelling of parsley?
Yes.
I thought it was party. Partay. To a partay.
At least you're pronouncing it right. I mean, without the L, obviously, but I'm waiting for people to be like, what the hell's parley?
Parley. Parlez-vous.
When do you think you might start that up?
Probably sooner than later. I've trying to remember. I think about 45 topic ideas saved to the computer right now. So I mean, I got enough there to make it through at least a year. Just about.
Well, no.
Well, I will be looking forward to that.
Me too. Watch, you'll do it on Friday nights and compete against me.
No. I said there's no competing against the illustrious Fell Territory. I think I'm gonna fall into the Thursday slot that seems to be open.
Oh yeah.
So other than that, do you have anything else coming up? Barbecue?
Nope. I took a couple photos of the moon tonight. If anybody wants to go to the Blind Guy Photography Instagram page and check those out, they are posted. But
Drop a
other than
link.
that, I got nothing.
There's a movie about the moon out now.
Yeah.
What's her face? The girl. Anyway, it's about a girl, and there's this guy, and there's an astronaut, and she's hired to be the PR for this. It's supposed to be like a biography, I guess, or not really, a kind of fake documentary, I guess, of the PR for the space program, and how they got Tang and stuff like that to help pay for it all. Anyway, that's a fairly new movie, just came out.
It didn't let me do it.
Didn't let you.
Maybe. Why is it like that? Sorry, talking to myself.
It happens.
Yep.
Sometimes it's the only person that'll listen.
Oh heck, I don't even want to listen to me.
I got a cat that listens to me.
Might be called Fly Me to the Moon. Maybe.
Fly me to the moon.
G-Webs, anything you want to plug? Anything you got coming up?
What was the model number on the torch? Which one? The little square one or the next torch? Next core. Night core is called EDC 33, it says on there. And the what do you call it? O-light? Are they called the O-clip or something like that?
Oh, yeah, it's called the O-clip.
O-clip. Tomorrow She Fires does a show. That's worth listening to. But thanks for hosting. So there's another show next week. Just getting off schedule to do a bracket, you said? A special double bracket?
No.
Show?
Unfortunately, some of the insulation has come loose on my bracket. So there might be asbestos. So I need to get some testing. And then if it's positive, then I have to have it taken care of. So at one time I did have asbestos and PCB qualifications, but only for the federal government. It didn't, for some reason, the qualifications were good for the government, but did not qualify for civilian. So I have to have, hopefully not have to have somebody mitigate the asbestos if it's there. So we'll find out.
Too bad you just can't burn it out of there.
Well, you can't burn asbestos. That's
what I mean. Yeah.
the great thing about it. They used to pack it around the boilers on trains to keep them from overheating it, or keep the heat in, not letting the heat out. And asbestos is some wild looking stuff. It looks like a rock, but then it breaks up into a fiber.
Dude, we got mines. There's places over by Salt River where you can just stop and walk into the hill. Like there's mines for that, or just holes in the ground, like caves that go deep into the hill, and you can just pick up rocks like what you're talking about, and you pick it up and you start pulling it apart, and it's like rock wool or whatever that stuff's called.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. It'll
No,
get
I know
you.
it's bad for you or whatever, but
Yeah,
I've done it.
I can't remember if it was daily limit is, like a clicker pen, the size of the metal piece that you click.
Oh no, I've
and
picked
then,
up chunks the size of golf balls and ripped them apart.
that's your daily limit, and a half a micron size piece of asbestos can get in your bloodstream, and anywhere that your blood goes, it can carry that and cause cancer wherever it ends up.
That's
So
crazy, because it's just literally laying out. It's the holes in the ground full of it essentially. Like it'll be a seam just like any other kind of mineral.
It's a Wonderful Life. The snow scene. The snow is asbestos.
Oh, yeah.
I saw pictures of at the shipyard. Guys used to have snowball fights with it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, I've been to places where it's in there like, I don't know what to call it. It's just in there. Like they just poured it into the walls of houses and stuff.
Yeah. Well, the asbestos walls and stuff, it was actually in the vermiculite that they were mining in Montana. And the vermiculite is one of the ingredients that goes into making drywall.
Mm-hmm. And it's in planting stuff too. Essentially, it's decomposed vermiculite, I think. Like if you let vermiculite go for a couple of million years or whatever, it turns into asbestos.
When it was
I'm not
banned,
sure.
when the government banned
But they're all mined together. They're all in the hole in the
using
same ground.
asbestos products, they still allowed it to be sold. Whatever you had in backstock, you could still sell off all that.
I think there's people that went, hold on, I can get it how cheap now? Oh yeah, we're just getting that still.
That's pretty much with like lead
What's a
paint.
little
and
bit of
everything, too.
cancer?
They're like, oh, it's already out there, so we're stopping it, but we can't blink our eyes and make it go away, so we're not going to make everybody go poor. Who touched it? Who's didn't know.
Larry Knopf is out there. Good evening.
So they are now saying that an AR-15 was used on the assassination attempt.
Makes sense. It
was recovered at the scene. Let's put
if
it
we're
there.
I don't know if I should bring it up or not.
Eh,
I seen a thing on Instagram where somebody was saying, wrong guy. Did you see anything like that?
no.
I'm just hoping Bob Lee's swagger was smart enough to take his firing pins out again.
There's a lot of stuff swirling around. That's why, kind of waiting for the dust to settle and before I form any great opinions. But Mr. Gary, I was not yelling at you. I was just being animated. So,
Worried about.
anything you want to plug?
Maniac.
Yeah, let's see. Members only chat for my channel members, 8:00 p.m. every Wednesday. Foul Territory 271 coming up this week, Friday night, 9 p.m. So once again, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you being here. And I appreciate everybody that was out there in the live chat. Even Larry, who came in late, but I know he just got off work. And if you were out there watching, didn't say anything, don't be afraid to speak up. Let me know that you're out there. I appreciate you too. If you watch this replay, once again, leave a comment. Whatever we talked about, agree with, disagree with, think we left out. I read all the comments and I do really appreciate them. So next chat will be Wednesday for Wednesday Night Mouse Party. And like I said, in I believe 2 weeks, we'll have our Mouse Party giveaway to celebrate the 100th chat. And
Are
one
you
thing
gonna give away a mouse? That'd be cool.
I don't know. I probably should. I'll think about that. I got a couple weeks to think about that. When we had our Gilded, Gary has seen these because I showed him. The Gilded is now gone. But there were 2 super secret giveaways that they were triggered by keywords. And nobody got them. One was a $50 gift card, and the big one was a $100 gift card.
And true to
nobody's-
what I said, I don't remember what either one of them were.
Nobody ever tripped. I had a bunch that would trigger, and I referred to them as landmines, where somebody would put in some keyword, and then usually a little GIF would pop up. But there were 2 secret giveaways, and nobody ever got them. There's not on the Discord because I can't do the bots like I did with Gilded.
So, do we get to know what the landmines were?
One was A Team, and then if you said A Team, you got an animation where it played the A Team opening credits, and then said congratulations and stuff. And the other one was, I think, Samoa.
Yeah.
So they were not common words. That way, they wouldn't be triggered automatically.
I kept talking about the A crew and the B team. I was so close.
Yeah. Warhammer is out there.
Missed it by that much.
Yeah. So I just wanted everybody to know what they missed out on. So.
Oh, you know what else everybody missed out on since we're ending, I guess? Did you watch Hillbilly Show at all?
No.
His show was talking about the stuff that happened, and then after that, they started talking about movies from 2000 to today. Top 3 movies. I find that to be crazy. Like that's offensive. That's the word I was looking for. Like, how can you pick 3 movies out of 23 years? Not even any kind of like sci-fi westerns, like some genre. Like, it was just all movies. That's got to be thousands of movies. I mean, tens of thousands of movies. Like, that's just so many. Anyway.
Yeah, anytime I've tried to sit down and pick, like what's my favorite movie, it'll be a group of favorite movies. There's
right.
Not one.
Even if you said best westerns, and it'll change a little bit, but anyway, I just thought that was frustrating.
And, what I think is my favorite can change on what my mood is on that day. And Ozzy's debating on getting a Smith & Wesson Shield EZ30 Super Carry since he can't have the Shield Plus. I say get it.
Yep. I held it.
Do it.
It's a nice little gun.
Do it. Uh-oh. Barbecue drop.
He must not like Ozzy. I don't know. I like Ozzy.
Probably had a kid wake up or something. Needed his attention. Other than that, he's back.
I don't know what happened. I was getting ready to go talk smack on 30 Super Carry and call it 9mm inbred cousin, and then boom, I was gone. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, you're being censored by Big Super Carry.
I was.
That's
Big
right.
9mm.
Federal's not going to put up with that, man.
There it is. So, other than that, I hope everybody has a good rest of the night and go do something good. That's the wrong one. Hang on.
Oh,
Hang on.
Very
Oh,
short
no.
intro.
oh no.
There.
Still here? It's over. Go home. No.